we have to start with that young boy. It's such a delightful sight. I know RCB fans won't like this, but as an Indian fan, just to see this 21-year-old pacer do what he's done today.
Yeah, what do you make of him? Quick. He's got good rhythm. He doesn't look like he's trying too hard to bowl quick. But I like the lengths that he bowled. He wasn't bowling short, wide. He wasn't straying because of the extra pace. He was bowling in good areas. And very, very exciting. I just hope he looks after his body. Very exciting.
But also that wicket of Cam Green, because we spoke about it in the comm box. It was beautiful, really quick, slower in the 6 balls that he bowled, a slower one in comparison to what he was bowling, but just came in a little bit.
Yeah, if you add to that 17 dots from his 4 overs, I love to see pace, but there's always a smile on my face when I see a Western Australian batter in Cam Green get blown away by pace. You know, he's been brought up with pace. You know, the wickets in Perth. And then you've got Glenn Maxwell. I think we said in the halfway house that'd be a good matchup pace to Glenn Maxwell, playing a pull shot. He obviously wasn't watching the previous game where he'd got 3 wickets to the pull shot, another couple tonight. He's got a beautiful action. He really has got a real nice rhythm. He's got a great run-up. I don't know, was it Simon Katic on commentary said, we're getting in for the T20 World Cup side for India. I'm not too sure whether that's a little bit too soon, but I certainly would be eyeing him up for Australia later on in the year for a test. If his body, I don't know how much longer format bowling he's done.
He's played 1 first-class game.
Yeah, well, you've got to be careful with a bowler like that who's only 21 years of age. He hasn't got a huge amount of workload into his body, but he's exciting.
And the interesting thing, we spoke about him, about how he likes just being consistent, bowling the correct lengths. And I watched a couple of his interviews where he spoke about just liking speed a lot in life, not only while playing cricket, but he said he likes rockets, he likes fast cars.
He bowls rockets.
So clearly.
He bowls rockets, but I hope his love for speed stays there. But I'm just thinking, when you bowl a slower ball, you take, 20 k's off your speed? His slow ball comes at 130 plus. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Michael's right. I mean, if he can keep this pace going in long form and bowl 15 overs a day at this pace, that'll be wow. And as I said a couple of days ago, look at someone like Naseem Shah. I don't know whether Naseem Shah consistently bowls this pace, but he gets that ball to swing. He's a more complete bowler. He's a long form bowler. So maybe too early, as he said, maybe too early. Let's see how he goes.
I thought actually tonight was the perfect example when batting first can be a big advantage. Because Lucknow batted first, they got a decent score, but what did the RCB team try to do in the first innings? They tried to bowl Yorkers, got a few wrong, bowled a few full tosses. Lucknow have seen that and thought, we're not going to even go full. They just hammered length. Kept on getting their seamers to bowl into length, hammer it with the odd slow ball, and it must have just been coming off the pitch just with a little bit of two-pace nature, and it certainly works. So that's sometimes an advantage when you bat first and you see a bowling unit get it slightly wrong in the first innings, and it gives your bowlers an indication of what to do in the second innings.
We have a lot of questions coming in, and I'd like to take one of the questions because we were talking about Mayank Yadav. There's a lot of curiosity about him. Can India consider Mayank Yadav for the upcoming T20 World Cup, or is it too early to select him? I know you touched upon it, Michael, but we are Indian fans. We get super excited when someone comes and bowls like this.
I'll be wary, but when you've got someone bowling 155 kilometres an hour, you have to look. You have to see how he goes over the next few weeks, but if he continues on this pathway of bowling like he is doing, and he obviously continues to win games for his franchise, the selectors will look. There's a small few things that you can't find in cricket teams. Number one is a real quality leg spinner. They're very, very hard to find. You can get lots of batters. There's so many batters in this era across the world, but there's not many that can bowl 155 kilometres an hour. So when one arrives, I mean, has he got an English passport? Can we have him? we need a bit of pace. When something like Mayank arrives, the selectors have to look. I'm not saying that they pick him, but they'll keep a very, very close eye on him over the next few weeks.
Look, since he brought it up, only because Michael brought it up, I would never say it otherwise. It's just because Michael brought it up. England used, in the test matches, they used a new ball bowler who was bowling sort of early 120s. That very evening, there was a WPL game going on. And Shabnam Ismail was bowling rockets, 128, 130, 132. So I'll rest my case. I can see why he wants a 155. But yeah, definitely you have to. You know, Indians have always dreamt of someone coming in and really letting it rip. My generation, when we saw Kapil Dev, we thought, wow! And then slowly, when Bumrah came around, quicker bowlers came around, but 155. Look, we picked Umran Malik at the end of the first season and took him straight away. And I think there's a recency factor, but I think he's got a little bit more in terms of line length control than Umran Malik had. Can you imagine both of them at either ends?
It'll be beautiful, but also, you know, just because Shami is not playing, there's been a lot of discussion about the third seamer. So there is Siraj, there is of course Bumrah, and there was talks of Arshdeep as a third seamer. With the way Mayank's playing, get him in and let him be in the squad, let him be at the bench. Maybe that's a good idea.
Could be. I mean, if he's bowling like this, why on the bench?
Why on the bench?
But as I said, we've only seen him in 2 games.
Yes.
We've only seen him in 2 games. Batters are clever too, you know. Batters are clever too. They will, as the tournament goes along, they'll figure out a way to get under his skin and then see if they can disturb him. Maybe they'll start playing some uppercuts. Maybe they'll just have a word to him and see if he reacts and loses it. So batters are clever too. They'll find a way.
The kind of judgment of a young player coming into cricket when they're firing, and obviously we're all praising him, is when he has a bad game.
Yeah.
True.
You know, when he goes for 60 and he gets hit to all parts, and how does he react to that? How does he come back and bowl when the pressure's really on, or his team lose a game because of his bowling? Let's be honest, bowling's tough because if you're a batsman and get out, someone else has to come out, and it's not always that the batsman gets the finger pointed at him. If you're bowling at the end in the second innings and the ball flies to all parts, we remember the bowler who was bowling at that time, and he'll have that moment. All bowlers have to go through that, and it's how he reacts to that which will be the real judgment of his temperament. But in terms of action, quality, it looks calm. I don't know him, but from what I hear in terms of the interview, he looks a very level-headed character. He's got a good group of people around him. He's got every chance of... I would say that they probably will put him in the squad if he's bowling that quickly in a few weeks' time and he's going well. I'd say that he's probably will be making the T20 World Cup squad.